The diagnostic AI was right 94% of the time. And weirdly, that was the problem. A hospital rolled out an AI assistant for radiologists. The system scanned images, flagged what looked suspicious, and the radiologists would either confirm the flags or reject them. Early on, it was the best of both worlds. The AI caught things tired humans missed. The humans caught the odd context or edge case the AI didn't understand. Together, they beat either one alone. But then, over time, something subtle changed. An audit about a year and a half later found a pattern that's honestly unsettling. Radiologists weren't really studying the scans anymore. They were studying the AI's output. If the AI flagged a problem, they'd say yes. If the AI didn't flag anything, they'd sign off and move on. And remember, the AI was wrong in about 6% of cases. In those wrong cases, humans were now missing most of them, not because the job got harder, but because they stopped doing the job. They'd become validators. A rubber stamp. And that's the paradox sitting at the center of human-AI collaboration. The better the AI gets, the easier it is to defer. The more we defer, the less we think. And then, when the system makes that rare but critical mistake, we're least capable of catching it. Exactly when human judgment matters most. So how do we build partnerships with machines that make us stronger instead of replaceable? How do we use AI power without handing over our autonomy? Today, we're talking about the art of human-AI collaboration, and how to preserve agency. I'm Nakul Nakima, and this is the Intelligence Edge. Alright, joining me today is a 4-guest panel, people who live right at the intersection of AI, governance, ethics, and design. Dr. Lian Zhou is an AI transformation expert based in APAC, and she's guided organizations through adoption while watching what happens to human capability when AI shows up. Welcome back, Dr. Zhou.
Thanks, Nakul. This topic is everything. The way you set up collaboration is usually the difference between AI making people better, or quietly weakening them.
Maria Alvarez is a data governance leader with deep experience defining the boundary between what AI can do and what humans must do. Maria, welcome.
Thank you. That boundary, who has authority over what, is where governance stops being theory and starts being real life.
Jonas Richter is a data ethics and compliance specialist. Jonas comes at this from the agency angle. When does help quietly turn into dependence? Jonas, good to have you.
Great to be here. I really think human agency is the defining question of the AI era, not just a technical detail.
And Kwame Mensah is an intelligence systems architect. He designs the actual interfaces and workflows where this partnership either works or breaks. Kwame, welcome.
Thanks, Nakul. Excited for this one. People underestimate how much the interface decides the outcome.
Let's start with the radiologists. What went wrong there, and why do we see that pattern over and over? Dr. Zhou, what's your diagnosis?
That case is a textbook example of automation bias. When a system performs well most of the time, humans gradually stop independently verifying it. They move from active judgment to passive acceptance. And I want to say this clearly, it's not simply laziness. It's an understandable adaptation. If you're under time pressure and the machine is usually right, it feels rational to stop duplicating the work. But it creates a cascade of problems. First, skill atrophy. You don't use your diagnostic muscle, it gets weaker. Second, vigilance decay. Humans are terrible at staying alert for rare errors in an otherwise reliable system. It's psychologically almost impossible to be a perfect watchdog for a 94% accurate tool. And third is what I call competence reversal. The human is supposed to be the safety net, but the very act of depending on the AI erodes the competence needed to be a safety net. The holes appear exactly where you need the net most.
So the system got better, and the overall human-AI system actually got worse.
Exactly. Better AI can produce worse outcomes if the collaboration isn't intentionally designed.
Jonas, beyond raw performance, why does this matter? Because some people might hear this and say, okay, accuracy dropped a bit, retrain them.
Because it's not only about accuracy. It's about agency, and agency is what makes responsibility real. If a human genuinely evaluates and chooses, then accountability makes sense. They exercise judgment. They own the outcome. But if the human is just clicking confirm, accountability becomes a story we tell ourselves. On paper, the human is responsible. In practice, they didn't decide. That creates an accountability vacuum. If something goes wrong, who is morally responsible? The AI can't be. The human didn't really act. The organization shrugs. And ethically, that's dangerous. There's also dignity. Work that uses your expertise and judgment is meaningful. Work that's reduced to rubber stamping a machine is dehumanizing. Over time, people become extensions of the tool instead of agents using the tool.
Maria, you live in governance frameworks. How does this case mess with the classic human-in-the-loop idea?
It exposes the biggest weakness in how people talk about oversight. A lot of policies say, a human must review or a human must approve for high-stakes decisions. That sounds safe. But what the radiologist case shows is that human review can become theater. The human is present, yes. But they're not meaningfully engaged. So governance can't just mandate participation. It has to demand real engagement, and that's harder to define, harder to measure, harder to enforce.
Right, because a signature is easy to document. Genuine thinking is not.
Exactly. You need to ask, how do we verify they evaluate it? How do we detect automation bias? How do we know oversight is functioning and not just ceremonial?
Kwame, when you hear this radiologist story, do you see it as a design failure?
Completely. The workflow was built to encourage fast confirmation. The AI output was probably front and center. The incentive was speed, see the flag, click yes, move on. Nothing required independent judgment, so over time independent judgment disappeared. And the important point is, that outcome isn't inevitable. Different design choices create different collaboration behaviors. What if the system showed the scan first and only revealed the AI assessment after the radiologist recorded an initial view? What if, sometimes, the AI wasn't shown at all so skills stayed sharp? What if the system tracked human-AI agreement patterns and alerted when the human starts agreeing 100% of the time? Most systems today are optimized for throughput, so we accidentally optimize for deference. And that's how you end up with the human as a rubber stamp.
Okay, so we've got the problem. Let's map the landscape a bit. Dr. Zhou, can you walk us through different collaboration models? Like, not every system should be the radiologist setup.
Sure. I tend to think of a spectrum, 5 models. And the key is that each one can be right or wrong depending on the stakes, the context, and the design. Model 1, AI as a tool. The human initiates and directs, the AI executes. Think calculator. You choose what to do, it speeds it up. Agency is strong here, but AI's contribution is limited because it doesn't really take initiative. Model 2, AI as an advisor. The AI recommends, the human decides. This is common: medical support, underwriting support, hiring support. It can be powerful, but it's also where automation bias hits hardest, because the human can quietly slide into approving instead of deciding. Model 3, AI as a collaborator. This is more iterative, back and forth, co-creating, refining. The human brings values and context, the AI brings synthesis, pattern detection, scale. This can be the strongest partnership when designed correctly. Model 4, AI as a delegate. The human sets boundaries and then lets AI make many individual decisions, monitoring performance over time, more like managing an employee than checking every action. And Model 5, AI as an autonomous agent. Humans set goals and constraints, but the AI operates on its own within a bounded domain. This should be reserved for well-contained, lower-stakes areas where errors are recoverable.
Kwame, when you hear those models, what changes in the actual product design? Like, what would I see on a screen?
Everything changes. A tool-style system is command-oriented, the human asks, the AI responds. Priority is predictable control. An advisor system has to help the human evaluate, not just consume. So you think about how to present evidence, how to show uncertainty, how to avoid anchoring. A collaborator needs an interface that supports iteration, preserving context, letting the human steer, making it feel like co-work rather than a single recommendation you accept or reject. For delegate models, the interface shifts to boundary setting and monitoring dashboards, thresholds, exceptions, drift, performance. You're not judging each case, you're governing the system. And for autonomous agents, it's even more about goals, constraints, and oversight, plus strong intervention mechanisms, because you're farther from the moment-to-moment decisions.
Maria, from a governance view, how should an organization decide which model is allowed where?
Risk and consequence. That's the center of it. If a decision affects someone's health, rights, livelihood, or freedom, you should be very cautious about delegate or autonomous models. You want tool, advisor, or collaborator models where a human's judgment is real and documented. But if it's high volume and low stakes, routing a customer ticket, optimizing inventory, adjusting ad bids, you can delegate more, because human-by-human engagement isn't practical and the cost of an occasional error is manageable. Another test is reversibility. If you can easily undo it, autonomy is safer. If it's hard to undo, like a medical decision or a denial of credit, then you need deeper human engagement.
Jonas, which of these models is best for preserving agency?
I wish it were as simple as saying, pick Model X, but agency isn't guaranteed by the label. It's preserved or destroyed by implementation. Tool sounds safe, but overuse still erodes competence. You always rely on it, you lose the underlying skill. Advisor is risky because it invites rubber stamping. Collaborator can be empowering, or it can become AI leading and the human following. Delegate and autonomous models reduce human involvement by definition, which can be fine in certain contexts if humans still maintain meaningful oversight at the system level. The core question is always, is the human genuinely thinking here, or are they just processing machine output? That's the litmus test.
Alright, let's get practical. If I'm building or buying AI, and I don't want my people to become rubber stamps, what do I actually do? Kwame, give us the playbook, design techniques that force real engagement.
Yeah, there are some concrete patterns. First, independent judgment first. Before the AI shows its recommendation, the human records an initial assessment. In radiology, that could be, what do you see? Then the AI appears and you compare. That prevents anchoring and keeps the human's diagnostic muscle active. Second, show uncertainty and reasoning, not just an answer. If the system says, I'm 70% confident because of these features, you naturally invite the human to evaluate. A naked conclusion is easy to accept blindly. Third, deliberate friction for high-stakes calls. Designers love frictionless flows, but for consequential decisions, friction is a safety feature. Make the reviewer explain why they agree. Make them explicitly check key points. If it's important, it should take thought. Fourth, periodic AI-free runs. You need practice without AI so the human doesn't lose the skill. Sample decisions where the tool is intentionally hidden. Fifth, make disagreement normal. If humans never override, you shouldn't celebrate. You should worry. Design the UI and culture so override is easy, expected, and tracked. And sixth, require explanations in the workflow, especially when accepting AI suggestions. It forces processing. You can't just click and move on.
Dr. Zhou, all of that sounds great, but it also sounds slower. How do you not kill the entire efficiency benefit of AI?
That tension is real. Engagement costs time. But the solution is proportionality. When decisions are high stakes, you prioritize engagement. Medical diagnosis, lending approvals, major strategic choices. In those areas, the cost of a rare catastrophic error outweighs the value of shaving seconds off the process. When decisions are low stakes, you prioritize flow and efficiency, because the risk is tolerable. And for high-volume domains where you can't deeply engage on every single case, you shift engagement to the system level, auditing samples, monitoring metrics, reviewing patterns, and tightening boundaries. The failure is when you pick one mode and apply it everywhere. Either you add heavy friction everywhere and people revolt, or you remove friction everywhere and agency collapses.
So in the radiologist story, the hospital used a low-stakes design philosophy on a high-stakes domain.
Exactly. That mismatch is deadly.
Maria, you said earlier governance needs to distinguish real engagement from theater. How do you measure it without pretending you can read minds?
You're right, you can't directly measure thought. But you can measure signals that strongly correlate with meaningful oversight. 1. Disagreement rates. How often humans override AI. If it's almost never, you need to investigate. It might be amazing AI, but it might be rubber stamping. 2. Decision time. If complex cases are reviewed instantly, that's suspicious. Speed can be legitimate, but consistently instant approvals are a red flag. 3. Independent performance. Periodically test humans without AI. Are they still capable? A downward trend is a warning that reliance is eroding skill. 4. Error catching. When AI is wrong, do humans catch it? That's the real test. If the human layer isn't catching errors, oversight has failed no matter what the policy says. And 5. Reasoning quality. When explanations are required, do you see substance or copy-paste justifications? Governance can sample those explanations and assess whether the reasoning is actually connected to the case.
Jonas, from an ethics standpoint, what has to be true for oversight to be genuine? Like, what are the non-negotiables?
3 conditions. If you don't have all 3, what you're calling oversight is basically pretend. First, capacity. The human must be able to evaluate the AI, real expertise, real access to relevant information, and enough time. If you give someone a 5-second SLA to approve something complex, you've destroyed capacity. Second, authority. The human needs the power to override, and it has to be socially and operationally supported. If overriding is punished or requires 10 layers of approvals, they don't truly have authority. Third, responsibility. The human has to carry real responsibility for outcomes. If everyone can hide behind the AI did it, nobody will invest the cognitive effort to truly engage. And by the way, these are connected. In the radiologist case, they initially had capacity, but the design pulled them toward deference. Over time, skills dulled, and capacity itself began to evaporate.
Let's go one level deeper. Preserving agency is one goal. But the dream is collaboration that's actually more powerful than either side alone. Dr. Zhou, what principle makes that work?
Complementarity. Humans and AI are good at different things. Powerful collaboration happens when each party does what it does best, instead of trying to substitute one for the other. AI tends to excel at scale, processing huge amounts of information, spotting patterns, being consistent, being fast, recalling massive knowledge. Humans excel at context and meaning, judgment in novel situations, ethical reasoning, understanding implications, creativity, and taking responsibility. When we assign tasks badly, like asking humans to parse endless data streams, or asking AI to make nuanced value judgments, we create failure modes. The early radiologist setup had complementarity. The collapse happened when human judgment disappeared and complementarity turned into substitution.
Kwame, how do you build complementarity into a workflow instead of just saying the word and hoping it happens?
You decompose the work, break the job into components, and then assign components based on comparative advantage. Take medical diagnosis. There's pattern detection in images. There's pulling together patient history. There's figuring out what's relevant in this specific patient's context. There's deciding on next steps, considering risks, and communicating with compassion. AI is great at pattern detection and synthesizing history. Humans are better at contextual judgment, values-based decisions, and communication. Then you design the handoffs. How does AI output feed into human judgment without replacing it? That's where the interface matters: sequencing, uncertainty display, prompts, explanation requirements. Most work isn't purely human or purely AI. It's a chain. Complementarity is about designing that chain deliberately.
Maria, how does governance support complementarity? Because over time there's always pressure to let AI do just a little more.
Governance has to prevent two things. 1. AI overreach, assigning AI responsibility for domains it shouldn't own, especially contextual and values-based judgments. The boundary needs to be defined and defended. 2. Human overload, forcing humans to do the parts machines do better, like processing massive volumes of information. Overload leads to disengagement, and disengagement leads to rubber stamping. And like you said, boundaries drift. As AI improves, the temptation is to expand its role incrementally without a conscious decision. Governance exists to make that expansion explicit. Where are we moving the boundary, why, and what safeguards preserve human responsibility?
Jonas, what's the ethical angle on complementarity?
It offers a future where humans remain meaningfully needed, not as a political compromise, but because good decisions require human values, accountability, and judgment. A lot of fear about AI is fear of becoming unnecessary. Complementarity says, no, the goal is to let machines take the mechanical burdens so humans can focus on what only humans can do well. But that future doesn't arrive automatically. The easier path is deference. Design for speed, accept rubber stamping, let skills atrophy, then eventually say, well, the human adds nothing, and remove them. So ethically, we should design systems that keep human roles substantive, because those roles are essential for responsibility and dignity, not just employment.
Now let's scale up. One person working with one AI is one thing. But organizations deploy AI across thousands of people and decisions. Dr. Zhou, what changes when collaboration goes to organizational scale?
3 big things get harder. First, variation in human capability. With one team you can tailor training and workflows. At enterprise scale, you're dealing with a huge range of expertise and AI literacy. Some people will challenge the system, some will blindly follow, some will resist. Second, culture becomes a force multiplier. If the organization implicitly teaches, the AI is always right, people defer even if the tool is designed well. If the culture celebrates human judgment and safe overrides, engagement stays healthier. Third, systemic risk. If everyone relies on the same AI in the same way, a single model failure can propagate everywhere at once. That's very different from an isolated mistake.
Kwame, what does it mean architecturally to prevent that kind of enterprise-wide failure?
You need scaled collaboration architecture, not just a model and a UI. One piece is capability adaptive interfaces. Experts and novices shouldn't get identical experiences. Novices might need more scaffolding and prompts, experts might need more control and less friction. Another is engagement monitoring across the fleet, dashboards tracking disagreement rates, decision times, and whether humans are catching errors. You want early warning before automation bias becomes the norm. You also want to preserve diversity of judgment. If everyone uses the tool identically, errors correlate. Healthy systems encourage some independence and variability so you're not putting all cognition into one centralized model output. Then there are circuit breakers. If something looks anomalous, confidence drops, distribution shifts, unexpected outcomes, the system should automatically increase human scrutiny, tighten boundaries, or route cases for deeper review. And finally, continuous calibration. The right balance between AI and human oversight changes over time as models improve and as human skills change.
Maria, scaled governance. What does it look like when you're not just auditing individual decisions?
You govern the portfolio, the culture, and the systemic risk. Portfolio-level monitoring means you're measuring collaboration health across teams and products, looking for patterns of deference or pockets where overrides are discouraged. Cultural governance means paying attention to what leaders reward. Are people applauded for trusting the model and moving fast? Or are they respected for thoughtful disagreement and for catching-edge cases? And systemic risk governance means avoiding single points of failure, redundancy, diversity, sampling audits, and escalation paths. If the whole company depends on one AI output with no independent check, that's not a workflow choice, that's an enterprise risk. And I'd add skill maintenance. At scale, skill atrophy is an organizational capability problem. If humans lose skill, your ability to oversee AI collapses.
Jonas, zooming out even further, what does all this mean for society?
If scaled collaboration becomes scaled deference, then we're training a workforce and eventually a society to outsource judgment to machines. That's a fragile society. Even if machines are usually right, a society that loses the habit and skill of independent thought is vulnerable, politically, economically, morally. But if scaled collaboration becomes complementarity at scale, humans using AI to extend capability while keeping judgment, values, and accountability, then AI becomes a multiplier for human flourishing. The uncomfortable truth is, the path of least resistance is deference. It's faster. It's cheaper. It looks efficient. The better future needs deliberate design and leadership.
Alright. Let's bring it home with our Tactical Edge segment. What can leaders actually do this week, like, not next quarter, this week, to reduce the risk of people becoming rubber stamps? Dr. Zhou, you're up.
Identify the single highest stakes decision where humans and AI collaborate in your organization. Then ask, what collaboration model are we really using? Tool, advisor, collaborator, delegate, or autonomous, and does that match the stakes? If the stakes are high and the workflow is optimized for speed and passive confirmation, you've probably found a redesign priority.
Maria.
Pick one AI system that claims to have human oversight and measure disagreement rate. How often do humans override the AI? If override is nearly zero, don't assume perfection. Treat it as a prompt. Is the system that good, or is the oversight functionally theatrical?
Jonas.
Run a quick check on one AI-assisted process using the 3 conditions of genuine engagement. Do reviewers have capacity? Do they have authority? And do they carry responsibility? If anyone is missing, fix that first. Otherwise, your organization is telling people to be accountable while making accountability impossible.
Kwame, last word.
Take one high-stakes workflow and add one engagement-preserving design element right away. The simplest is independent judgment first. Require the human to write their initial assessment before the AI output appears. It's a small change that can dramatically reduce anchoring and automation bias. And you can measure its impact quickly.
Let me pull together the signal from today. Human-AI collaboration has a built-in trap. As AI gets stronger, humans are tempted to step back. And when humans step back long enough, they lose the variability we depend on, judgment that catches the rare but dangerous failure. We talked through 5 collaboration models: AI as tool, advisor, collaborator, delegate, and autonomous agent, and why the right model depends on stakes, reversibility, and risk. But we also said something important: no model automatically preserves agency. Design does. To preserve engagement, you can design for independent judgment first, visible uncertainty, proportionate friction for high-stakes calls, periodic AI-free practice, and a workflow where disagreement is normal and easy. We also explored complementarity. AI excels at scale, speed, and pattern detection. Humans excel at context, values, creativity, and accountability. The best systems don't substitute. They combine. They assign the right pieces to the right partner. At organizational scale, it gets harder, capability varies, culture shapes behavior, and a single model failure can ripple everywhere. Which means monitoring, circuit breakers, skill maintenance, and governance are not optional. And Jonas gave us a simple ethical test for whether oversight is real: capacity, authority, responsibility. Without all three, human in the loop is just a checkbox. The future isn't locked in. We can build systems that slowly make humans irrelevant, or systems that make humans more capable, more thoughtful, and more responsible. That choice shows up in the design decisions leaders make right now. Dr. Lien Zhou, Maria Alvarez, Jonas Richter, and Kwame Mensah, thank you for a genuinely important conversation.
Thank you, Nakul. This one matters.
Really enjoyed it. Lots for leaders to act on immediately.
Vital topic. Glad we dug into the human side, not just the model side.
Always a pleasure. And I hope people take the design part seriously. Small choices add up fast.
Next week on the Intelligence Edge, the hallucination problem, when AI confidently makes things up, and what organizations can do to detect, prevent, and manage it. Until then, I'm Nakul Nakima. Make better decisions.